Every second year, the shogun made the daimyo come back and live in Edo for 1 year. This rule was put into action so the daimyo had no time or money to challenge the shoguns. The family was also required to leave a family member in the house in Edo during their time away. The members left at the house were called guests of the shogun, but in reality they were hostages. If there was rumors of an absent daimyo or daimyo family member, the members of the family were all killed.
The emperor held power as the figurehead for Japan, but the Bakugan system were composed of the two decision-making levels. The shogunate were the ones who made most of the laws and enforced them. They took orders from the emperors and were very high up in the feudal society. The daimyo also in that level and had many powers as well.
The shogun controlled many aspects of the Japanese lives. They made laws about marriage and dress. Also the isolation laws. No contact from the outside world because of the isolation laws the shogun made. Without trade from the outside world, the shogun made laws that the daimyo had to pay for projects, like road building. The isolation laws were very strict. Anyone who did not follow them was banned, outcast, or killed. The rules were all Christian missionaries or foreign trade were not allowed to come to Japan. Japanese were not allowed to leave. Ships that could make long trips were no longer made. Foreign objects were banned. The laws were very strict in Edo, Japan.
The rigid social structure of Japan was intended to help the shogun maintain control. Membership in each class was hereditary, although you couldn't officially get moved up. People in the lower classes improved their status by hard work, talent, or gaining wealth. Strict rules had to be obeyed in every class. Punishments were harsh for anyone who disobeyed.
The emperor gave power to the shogun and daimyo of the feudal system. The emperor had the most power and were very wealthy, and lived in the most expensive and wanted places in Japan.
Shogun were the leaders that still followed orders from the emperor. They owned land, mines, ports, and cities. They were also the ones to enforce laws and punish those who disobeyed the laws.
The samurai fought in wars and protected Japan. They were a highly respected warrior class. They lived in castles and towns controlled by the shogun and daimyo. They served. The samurai carried two swords, sharp ones to kill and ones to cut heads off the defeated enemy. They were the only ones who could carry swords. Samurai could not become involved in trade or business. They also collected taxes, orders, and surveying land. The samurai armor was very complicated. They had little choice.
The farmers of Edo, Japan had been thought of as important to the society because they produced the food. Laws controlled every aspect of the peasant life. The peasants were forbidden to drink white wine or smoke tobacco. They also needed to have permission to leave their district.
These were craft peoples of Japan that made things of high quality and beauty. Even though you had to be extremely skilled to do this work, they were lower in the rank than peasants. This was because in order for them to produce their products, they needed the products of others first.
From artisans to trade or sell to others. They arranged for shipping and distribution of food and stored rice in their warehouses because rice was used as currency during most of the Edo period. So in a way, they were like bankers. They were lower on the feudal system. Spies reported merchants who showed wealth. The government could punish them by taking over their businesses.
Women in Edo, Japan were born to responsibilities, just like the men had been. The women of the samurai class had to teach the children how to be proper samurai. Women with more freedom were peasants or farmers' wives. Along with houses work, they got to work in fields with men. Even though the women in lower classes did the same work as the men, they were still viewed as less important. The women also did not have legal existence, so they couldn't own a home or land.
Outcasts were people who were shunned or ignored by other classes because of their work. They usually had an occupation that involved death under the Tokugawa shogun. Outcasts had to live apart from the rest of the society and were not allowed to change jobs, enter peasants' homes, or be in the city after 8 p.m.